Hey, this is Lucas Saltstrong, and just wanted to highlight this 5-pound braid, something that I never thought I'd ever be using for inshore saltwater fishing. I recently picked up a spool. I've been using it, and I've been pleasantly surprised, actually very surprised, I should say, with how well it's been performing. And I'll be, measuring it against the 10-pound braid that I've historically been using. Again, I like them both, but I have certainly found a situation where this 5-pound braid has been impressive, and I'll actually be curious to get your feedback too. If you have used light line like this for inshore saltwater fishing, I'd love to hear your feedback. And so as far as why I switched to it, just so you can know the back history, if you will. So historically, I've been a 10-pound fan for the past 5 years. This has been it for fishing, inside bays. As long as I'm not fishing around, high current and going after big fish around structure, this line has been great. This 10-pound line, you can cast incredibly far, and I've been very happy with it. But I have come across a lot of redfish lately that have been very spooky. So right now it's wintertime. The water's been super clear. The redfish have not been very aggressive on many days, and they're up in calm water situations. And so even the act of this line falling on the water, right? Cast over the fish, lead it to the side as well, and the line falling on the water, 5 feet plus away from the fish, those fish are gone. So I just can see that they're getting scared from the line, so I wanted to find something thinner, and this was the thinnest that I could find at a local tackle store. It was the 5-pound Power Pro. So you look at the details, it's 0.1 millimeters versus the 10, which is 0.15. That is a big percentage difference. And so I spooled some up. I put it on a 1,000 size reel just for kind of basically just for sight fishing, up on shallow flats. And it's been actually really good. I've been surprised. The first 2 trips I took it out, I actually landed a slot snook on both trips, and those fish actually hit close to structure, close to mangroves, like within 10 feet of mangroves. And even this little bitty 5-pound line can handle a really strong fish that is prone to get into structure like snook. So just given that alone, I'm now totally confident on using 5-pound braid for inshore flats, as long as it's not in a high structure area and there's not a ton of current flow. If fishing the flats, this has actually been surprisingly good so far. So I'll be, again, very curious for anybody who has used this. Please leave your feedback, because I'll caveat that with saying that I've only been using it for about a month and a half. So pretty recent, but I've had a lot of questions come in. I've been featuring it in Insider Reports lately, and questions come in, so I just wanted to share the latest and greatest on what I've found so far. So as far as the comparison between the two, I have done knot contests on both. I've done a ton of contests on the 10-pound braid. I've only done 2 so far on this, but so far the breaking strength using the FG knot connecting to a 20-pound leader, the breaking point on this 5-pound braid has been over 11 pounds. It's been like 11.2, 11.3 if I remember right, but both were over 11 pounds. That's obviously great, right? That's plenty of tension, it's plenty of pulling power to handle fish away from structure, especially if you're in open water or up on a grass flat or something like that. Comparing that to a 10-pound braid with the FG knot to a 20-pound test, it's usually around 20 pounds, right? So yes, you do get double more power going to 10, but this 5 still has a lot, and it's proven to at least have enough to handle some big fish. The biggest benefit of this 5-pound braid is just, again, is the fact that it's thinner, the fish can't feel it as well, and also it'll have better casting distance. I haven't yet done a formal casting test on these 2 lines. That is something I want to do. I'm just waiting on a day where there's not a lot of wind. I did do a 10-pound test versus a 20-pound, right? Both Power Pro, both using the same rod, the same reel, everything the exact same. The only difference was the line, and what I found was this 10-pound braid casted about 20% further than the 20. So literally going from a 20-pound braid to a 10-pound braid increased the casting distance by about around 20%. That is a huge deal. So if you don't need power, right, if you don't need a ton of power, it is a huge advantage to switch down to 10 if you're currently using 20. So, and I'll put a link down to that video if you haven't seen it. So how does that compare from 10 to 5? That's a big question mark. So right now I put the 5-pound on a 1,000 size reel. I use 10 on usually 2,500 to 3,000s. And so far, I really can't tell quite as drastic a difference in casting distance. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spool up some 5-pound braid on a 2,500 size reel and do an actual formal test to know the exact difference. And so stay tuned, I'll be doing that test as soon as I can, but the main point of this video was just to feature this 5-pound braid and the utility of it for sight fishing, calm, clear water. If that's something that you're going to be doing, then I highly recommend considering getting line like this. The biggest problem with this is just that they're hard to find. Not many people carry it. It's not super popular, and so we went ahead and bought a pretty good amount for our fishstrong.com, for our tackle store. And so if you want to give it a shot, it's in there. And what I'll be doing, as I mentioned, I'll be doing some tests on this 5-pound braid versus the 10-pound braid, and just let you know how it goes, right? So that we can all make just educated decisions on exactly which lines we use for specific situations. But so far, this has been solid. And again, if you have used this line before or something similar where it's a super thin line for catching redfish, sea trout, snook, flounder, we'd love to hear from you. So leave a comment down below. Any and all questions, please leave a comment down below. If you need to get any of these lines, we do carry all this. So we carry all these sizes plus more at fishstrong.com. I'll put a link down below to that as well. And if you're new to SaltStrong, just know that we're the best online fishing club for inshore saltwater anglers, especially if you're targeting redfish, sea trout, snook, or flounder. There's nothing else like it. We actually guarantee that you'll be finding more fish every trip. You'll be saving money on all the tackle you need, and you'll be meeting a ton of new fishing friends. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.